Hey y'all, and welcome back to the party. It's me, your girl BrittReacts, and today we are reacting via a kind suggestion to Bert Kreischer, Flying Hill Hose. I don't know what to say. I can't say that word. Flying thingy mabobbers. Let's see what he's got to say.
They kept her in a fucking closet? Are you shitting me? They're like, yeah, the Nazis were looking for her. I go, the fucking Nazis were looking for her? How did they not put this in the movie? How did the Nazis not find...
The cinematic opening of this show is so crazy. Okay. Oh! 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 He lost his teeth.
One of my best friends, the host of the BrittReacts podcast. Please, give it up for Mr. Bert Kreischer, everybody!
I am so stressed out from that opening alone. The gore of a cartoon. Lord help me. Okay, Bert.
Yeah, I am the machine. I'm nursing one of the worst hangovers I've ever had in my fucking life right now. So cheers to Ari, to Comedy Central.
That just made me hurt.
I'm not.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not like I'm smart, but I'm not like I'm not good with facts and stuff. Like, I was talking to someone the other day and I realized I'd always thought Anne Frank and Helen Keller were the same person.
All right. You know what? Let me get my concealer catcher prepped and ready. Have it here. And let me just take a sip of water because we're already off to a phenomenal start. Bert, what? Anne Frank and Helen Keller being this... Jesus, bless it.
Like, well into my 20s.
Oh.
Do you know where I found out? At the Anne Frank house. Do you have any idea what... I went... Okay. I backpacked through Europe when I was 22 with these 4 guys. 3 are lawyers, so I can't say their names. The other one's named Weicho. And these guys were just fucking nerds. The whole time we were backpacking, they're like, do you want to go to the Louvre? Do you want to see David? We should take a class and learn about how they cut diamonds so when we get engaged, we could have... I'm like,
Okay. This is in no way, shape, or form a judgment. It's an observation. I just never realized that when a man has a larger belly, that his pants have to go underneath his belly like this. Like he's almost exposing his crotch area. And I guess I just always assumed they would just get bigger pants that would go around their stomach so that then they belt it and the stomach would kind of be in the pants. But I guess that doesn't make much sense. Or maybe it depends on the size of the belly. I don't know. I say all that to say I'm so distracted by the placement of his pants that I'm like, I know we're talking about his friends, 3 who are lawyers, so we don't know their names, and 1 who's Weicho, which he always just seems to be surrounded by just characters. But yeah, I've never been close enough to a male that had a stomach to know how they dress. And so I think it's been left to my imagination, and I'm like, oh, it's okay, because it just feels uncomfortable. I guess it's belted, so he knows it's not going anywhere, but maybe I'm the only one that's uncomfortable, because Bert seems to be just fine. And you know what? Good for him. Be comfortable in your skin, sir.
What the fuck is wrong with you guys? We're here to bang Swedish chicks, that's it. Are you out of your minds? And then one day they're like, hey, do you want to go to the Anne Frank house? And I lit up. I was like, fuck yes. And they're like, wow, you seem really excited. And I was like, no, we'll get a bag of weed and we'll laugh our dicks off. And they're like, really? I go, yeah, I've been hearing jokes about this girl my whole life. We get high, put a plunger in the toilet.
What?
And they're like, what?
What?
I go, do you get to go into the house? And they're like, yeah, you can go see the closet they kept her in. I go, they kept her in a fucking closet? Are you?
So how much of Anne Frank did he think was Anne Frank and how much of Helen Keller? So clearly he knew the deaf, blind, and mute thing from Helen Keller, but like, how much did he know about Anne Frank for him not to understand that she was kept in a... Like, I just am wondering, did he think Anne Frank was just Helen Keller? Is that what that was? He didn't... You know what I'm saying? Is my question making sense? I hope so.
Shitting me? They're like, yeah, the Nazis were looking for her. I go, the fucking Nazis were looking for her? How did they not put this in the movie? How did the Nazis not find... So I get excited. I get a bag of weed, and I'm like, I can't wait to go to the Anne Frank house. I'm like beaming. I'm so pumped up. On our walk to the Anne Frank house in Amsterdam, we pass by a sign that says, live sex, live sex, live sex, flying dildos. And I'm like, all right, suck a silent dick, Anne Frank. We're going to see flying dildos.
I'm so happy to get some understanding of how flying hoo-has, cock-a-doodle-doos, and Anne Frank correlate, and now I know. So let's keep going.
What are you gonna pick? Culture or the Anne Frank house? I'm going with culture. So I get us tickets. We all go in. Has anyone ever been to a live sex show?
Don't
One
be
guy
ashamed.
in the back. Perfect.
Don't be ashamed.
It's aggressive. It's a lot creepier than you'd ever think. See, here's the problem with a live sex show. Every show you go to elicits a response. When you come to this show, you know to laugh. When you go to see music, you get inspired. But when you go to a live sex show, the only response is to creep people out. Just like, oh, maybe I'll get hard. So we go in, we sit down. It's as intimate as this. And we light a joint. Get to know some of the other fellas, like-minded gentlemen.
Like-minded gentlemen. I just wonder what Bert's wife, just knowing all the escapades he had before he was married, like what she was thinking when she heard these stories. Because me thinking as a wife, like if my husband told me, like my husband has told me some wild stories from college, and I'm just like, I don't even know who that person is. And I knew him in college. And I just can't imagine what his wife thinks like about these escapades, because that's really what they are, escapades.
First woman comes up, no fanfare, no intro music, not even that hot. She's like a sex show 6. Comes up, she definitely has another job, like trust me. It's this intimate. It needs to be, we are this close, and she just starts oil rigging herself. Just wham. Now, listen, I'm not big into foreplay, but total lack of foreplay looks a lot like assault, okay? And she is going to town, and we're making the same look, just, which she confuses for, I guess they can't see, and just goes back to performing her gynecological exam on herself. Now, I have a problem with silence, so I immediately start talking to her.
No.
And I'm like, do you speak English? She's like, no. I was like, fuck. You're doing a really good job. I was like, oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Do you do flying dildos? And she's like, no. And I was like, great. 5 minutes she does this. 5 minutes just goes to town on herself. Just, I guess, by the end, we're like, now we're learning shit about the woman's anatomy. We're like, that's her urethra, I think.
What are the flying cock-a-doodle-doos, though? What are those? Oh, God, I don't know. I don't want the answer to this, and I'm going to get it, aren't I? Jeez Louise.
That's amazing. She gets done. We give her a golf clap. 2 girls come on stage, and now if this girl was all song, no dance, these girls were all dance, no song. A lot of foreplay. You can't walk backwards in a story. Like, I had to stop and go, ladies, we just watched a woman fist herself. Like, let's cut to the pink meat, okay? Like, they're like making out and now I'm the spokesman. Someone's like, can you get them to hurry it up? And I'm like, sure. I go, do you guys do flying dildos? And they're like, no. I was like, okay, next. And they're like, huh? And we're like, we're good. We've seen what you have to offer. They leave. Then a guy and a girl come out. Now, this is where it gets creepy. I'm not a huge feminist, but I believe in women's rights, okay? And this guy just starts doing crowd work. He's not even incorporating her in. It's like an improv team where she sits off to the side like fucking one of Jeff Dunham's dummies, just.
Oh, Jesus. Y'all, I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this one. This is an experience I am so far removed from and unfamiliar with. And I'm just trying to understand what the flying cucarachas are. Like, what's going on? What does that even mean?
And he's like, oh, you guys, by the way, this is exactly what it feels like. I want you to feel it. You guys ready to see me fuck, huh? You wanna see me fuck this shit, man? I fuck it good. It's creeping me out, and it's assaulting my morals. And I lean over to my friends, and I go, oh, we should have just gone to the Anne Frank house. Which pisses this guy off. He goes, oh, don't bring up Anne Frank in this room, man. And I go, well, I fucking wish I was Anne Frank right now so I didn't have to see this.
80 million things wrong with that statement right there. 80 million things wrong with that statement right there. Oh my good gracious.
Yes. And then he starts arguing with me, but he's arguing with me and getting his dick hard. Like it's such an, like he's like pulling it going, oh man, don't worry, it gets big. I'm like, not on my watch, it doesn't. And I start heckling his dick. I'm like, think about your mom. And he's like, hey, fuck you, buddy. I go, do you have any sisters? He's like, hey, not now, man, not now. I go,
is this man Russian? Because he's doing his Russian accent. I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering. Anyone know?
I go, do you have any sisters? He's like, hey, not now, man, not now. I go, we should just go to Anne Frank. And he's like, fuck you, and he storms off. And now the lunatics are running the asylum, and I'm their fucking leader. I'm like their Rosa Tubbsman, not fucking Rosa Tubbsman.
Rosa Tubbsman. How has he not gotten kicked out of this show? How have they not escorted him out of this show? The hangover is getting to him. Look at the just suffering. The suffering he's going through.
God damn it. By the way, I am neither Rosa Parks or Harriet Tubman. Right. I don't know. Right now in heaven, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, Helen Keller, and Anne Frank are going, what the fuck is this guy doing to our names? Helen Keller's like, so, I'm their Rosa Tubbsman. I'm leading the show, fucking. If you didn't think I was stupid when I started this story.
Bert is having his Bert meltdown where he hits that octave and the laughter is like taking all of his breath away. It's my favorite thing.
You think I was stupid when I started this story? I'm leading the charge. And I'm fucking pulling out old high school chants like, we put our hands up high, our feet down low. We want flying dildos, fly. And dildos, fly. And dildos. Hey fellas, yeah. Hey fellas, yeah.
And my hands up high, my feet down low in this, the way we jiggle. So great. He did a good job. That's actually a really good job for him to take that song and twist it around like that. Good job.
Hey dildos, hey fellas, yeah. Hey fellas, yeah. We won, yeah, flying dildos, yeah. They send out some girl to calm us down and we boo her off stage. Like, get the fuck out, bitch. We only want flying dildos. You heard us. Now, then Let's fucking kill this beer. I'm hitting it hard as fuck. Woman comes out. German woman, 6 feet tall, thigh-high leather boots, biker's cap, medicine bag. Plops it on the stool and goes, "Gentlemen, please. Calm down. I am flying dildos." And the place goes fucking bananas. It looks like the control room in NASA when Apollo 13 landed. Like, oh, we did it! We did it! She goes, "Stop. I will need the one volunteer from the audience." And these assholes look at me like, "You're up, numbnuts."
Yeah.
I fucking get up on stage, and I am so excited that I've brought about change. I feel like I've accomplished something in my life. I'm literally look at my constituents like, "You said you wanted change." I didn't say that, probably, but I was like, fuck, whatever I said. I'm Rosa Tubbsman, and I don't even realize her putting a handcuff on me. And when the second one goes on, I go, "Hey, maybe we should talk about how flying dildos works."
Exactly. You are chanting for change about something and we don't even know what it is. This is my point the whole time. What does this mean? Let us find out, class.
Like, I feel like I'm in the dark on this one. And she does not have like happy eyes look on her face. And sweeps my legs in like a Karate Kid move, just, and I land hard. I land so hard I knock the wind out of myself. Now let me tell you something about when you knock the wind, that's a real fucking noise. Just, it is so real, and real respects real. When you hear that, you're like, oh fuck. She tears my pants off me, and my dick pops out of my boxers unprepared, gentlemen. I look at my best friend Weicho and I go, "Poke it back in." He's like, "I will not be doing that." And then the air is removed out of the room and I hear some guy go, "Fucking do it." And I'm like, "What?" I look up, this woman is straddling my face with a 12-inch black dildo and Excaliburs it into my mouth. Gentlemen, you have a game time decision to make. What do you do in that situation? Do you purse your lips, close your teeth, and hope to block the shot? You could lose your front canines. Or do you acquiesce and open up and let her go yard in your jaw?
First of all, he used a big word, acquiesce. So he's not that dumb. This is worse than I expected. Is really all I can find to say right now. My goodness.
And open up and let her go yard in your jaw. I chose the latter. She went 8 inches into my throat, just now I'm gagging, the wind's knocked out of me, my dick's popping out, I'm wiggling like the very last unicorn. And she looks at the guys and says, "Gentlemen, get your cameras and line up to get a picture with flying dildos." These turncoats line up like they're meeting the fucking queen. They're like, "Oh, I can't wait," and everyone takes a picture with me. Ah! The point of my story, the reason I told it to you.
Please enlighten us. Why did we need this information? I'm scarred. This might be trauma. What the even heck? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. One of my husband's one of his closest friends, he's a flight attendant and he loves to go to Amsterdam. Like, it's his favorite place, literally his favorite place. Like, anytime he can get on a trip to Amsterdam, he's like on it. And recently my husband's very, very best friend from like pre-K, he went for the first time. They went together and he came back talking about how much he loved it. And all I've been thinking about this whole story is like, is this why they love Amsterdam? My husband's he better not ever ask me, can he go to Amsterdam? Not without me to be scoping the scene. What? Why did you tell us this?
If you ever go to Amsterdam, just go to the Anne Frank house. Thank you.
Goodness gracious. He took the beer. He took the beer.
Wait a second. First of all, don't leave your shirt before you leave. Second of all, did you ever go to the Anne Frank house?
Oh, yeah. So...
Oh, we get another story.
I was a little rattled after the whole flying dildos experience, and but all the guys in the room thought I was the greatest guy ever. It was like killing in a comedy club, and I could walk out, and it's 3 football players from UCF, 3 French Canadians, a dude from Tennessee, and a guy from Australia, and my 4 friends, and they're like, we would do anything with you, and I was like, well, I could use some cheering up. Let's go to the Anne Frank house.
It's how you know that he's not lying about anything, because he gives such detail. He just told us like all the people that were in the room. It's like he's not fabricating. This actually is his life, and it's so bizarre. His daughters are gonna grow. I'm sure his daughters know half these crazy stories, and it's just like, Dad, what? They might not know this story, but he's got some crazy stories, like the bear story when he's talking about like when he first met his wife. Come on. Crazy. I wonder if his daughters know that one.
It's not a cheering up plan of place.
It gets so much worse. So we get high as giraffe pussy and going to the Anne Frank house, and all I'm doing the whole time is telling Helen Keller jokes. I'm like leaning up to him going like, you know she had a dog, right? And they're like, really? How do you know so much about Anne Frank? I'm like, he ran away. And they're like, he ran away? I was like, well, you would too if your name was... We go into the kitchen, and I'm like, oh, here's where she burned her fingers. And they're like, what? Yeah, she tried to read her waffle iron. And this lady in front of us...
That one did take a minute to settle. She tried to read like Braille. He really this whole time thought that Helen Keller was Anne Frank. I don't think he was mixing them up, because that's what I thought he was saying at first, is that he kind of like had them twisted in his head a little bit, like certain details about each woman. No, he thought Anne Frank was Helen Keller. Who? But then he said he didn't know about her, running from the bad men and hiding from the bad men. So what did he know about? I'm so confused. I'm confusing myself.
This lady,
no one's gonna tell you like that's not the right person.
Lady turns around and goes, "Are you making Helen Keller jokes?" Ari, I realize at that moment that we're not in Helen Keller's house. That we're in the Anne Frank house, and I don't know who the fuck she is. And these guys see it in my eyes, and 12 dudes fall apart as high as fuck in a Holocaust museum. And that is the best laugh you can have, is when you're not supposed to laugh.
Yeah.
And I'm putting all the pieces together like, oh, I think I was thinking of Ann Sullivan. Shit. Oh, yeah, this is the wrong way. I go, what happened to this girl? And they're like,
she didn't invent Braille.
Oh, wait, did Helen Keller invent Braille? That I didn't know. I learned that something. Well, look at Bert teaching me something new, unless it's not true.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, my gosh, that man. Why is there not a book? I know there's a movie about the machine story, but why is there not a book, a full tell-all about this man's life? Because you can just tell. You can just tell by the way he laughs that he's got stories for days and days and days. Every time I use my cloth, I get like white fuzzy stuff all over my face. Anyway, y'all, that was hilarious and frightening and confusing. Go have the day you deserve. Peace.